Welcome to Unmasking Social, where we talk about building real friendships and meaningful connections without masking who we truly are. I'm your host, Sharon Baum, a speech and language pathologist with an expertise in social thinking and how it relates to autism and ADHD, specifically with our teens and tweens. Let's dive in.
Hello, everybody. On today's podcast, you are going to listen to an inspiring journey of success of somebody who was told they couldn't do much with their lives. We have Logan Ng, part of a family that I am very close to at this point, who has a brother with autism as well, and a mom who is a staunch parent advocate, always fighting for children. Logan takes us on a journey from being told that he could only flip burgers to now being able to run a successful business as an entrepreneur and hopefully getting a very cool job coming up soon. The key takeaways here are that with a little grit, acknowledgement of failure and how not to do that mistake again, as well as really leaning into specific interests and being social through them, one with autism, ADHD, or even someone who's not neurotypical can really succeed. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Unmasking Social. Today we have an inspiring guest, a young adult who has transformed his own life, even though others said that he would not be able to do much. We have Logan Ng on the podcast. His brother has been on the podcast, Spencer, who is thriving at Olin. His mother is a parent advocate who has also been on this podcast. This family has a special place in my heart because of all the great work that they've done individually and collectively. Logan, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Right, so I guess the best place to start is where it all began and where I understood my troubles.
Yes, I would love for the audience to hear about just kind of when you noticed things were different for you and how you were able to come full circle to where you are now.
So when I first noticed I had troubles is when it was around maybe first grade where I was put in a lower reading level because I went to a separate classroom or separate area in the classroom where reading was lower, and that's when I knew I was different. And then kind of fast forward a couple of years actually, where it's just mostly the same of bullying and people saying I can't do it. Then we're kind of right here and right now where I was in a whatchamacallit, a program where essentially they prepare you for the outside. It didn't really help me, but because I showed a higher level of intelligence.
Can you tell us more about that program? You said there was this program, but it didn't really match your intelligence level.
Well, it helps rehabilitate people with like 70 IQ, 80 IQ, 90 IQ.
Okay.
One of my IQ scores is 137.
Mm,
I don't, and that place one is where what makes me astute, what
mhm.
makes me realize things that others don't,
Right.
and I could,
Yeah.
it makes me I could recognize things that don't match up, and it kind of made me question the system instead of work with the system. So we just weren't a great match.
Got it. And I feel like that happens a lot, Logan, where individuals who have a very high IQ but are struggling socially are placed in programs with other students who are struggling socially but have a lower IQ, a much lower IQ. Have you seen that as happening to others too?
Yeah, I see. It's very common. I saw others, like I was the only one with a extremely high IQ in that area. Most of them were either average that lack motivation or like below average that have motivation but just weren't the brightest bulb, to put it simply.
Okay. So that's interesting. Thank you for sharing all of that and being vulnerable. And teens and tweens are listening to this, right? We know the teen and tween years are challenging. What were they like for you?
It was just mostly me being a misfit. Like, saw things. They saw me as like, I think one person called me the prophet because I just knew what was coming. But at
Oh,
the same time, they never knew what I was gonna do. It was kind of like they wanted to know what was gonna happen, but they never wanted to talk to me. So I was mostly a recluse for most of my high school years. And when I went to therapeutic boarding school, everyone was misfits, so I just proved to be like the most functioning misfit.
the most functioning misfit. And when you say misfit, does that mean that people just didn't understand you?
Yeah, kind of. Like, yeah, it's like more or less it like people, it backs to where I could be more motivational. People fear what they don't understand. That's what fear is.
Right.
The most basic primal thing of what fear is, the fear of the unknown. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
And that's when people say comes to branches up to other fears, like, "You can't do it. You can't do it because I never done it." That's
Right.
also another way to put it. So that's what I've been told. You can't do it because, well, I don't know how to put it in words, but because they can't see themselves doing it, they won't be able to see someone else that they see less as doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting that they view you as less because I know you, Logan, now for a little bit, and you are someone who is so gifted and so talented. But yet, if you don't fit a certain mold, I guess, right, in the educational system, they don't know what to do, right? If they
Yeah,
haven't seen your profile before, then it's very complicated because it's like, what do we do with someone who doesn't match the profile? They're really smart, they're struggling socially, they have all these other things going on. For me, I feel like I do agree with you. And I, even a step further, I think that a lot of individuals who are in education, if they're seeing something they've never seen before,
they
then
fear it.
they can fear it, but also just not know what to do, and then just make a suggestion that maybe they're not equipped to make.
Yeah, it's most things that lead to bad decisions stem from fear.
Yeah. Tell
And
me more about
I'm
that.
also a victim of that as well because I have anxiety disorder and I have a my biggest fear is the fear of the unknown. Because if I don't, because normally I think systematically, I think if this happens, 90% chance this will happen. And if I cannot come with that equation, then it will end up being like, what will happen? And then I'll be scared because then I don't know what to predict and I cannot have like a proper countermeasure. So it's will happen to nearly everyone in life. But what I could say is that what I tell myself that which helped me with my business is you will always fight an uphill battle. No matter what you do in life, no matter that you are the best in the world at it. Let's say you're the best in the world as checkers, right? You'll always still be fighting an uphill battle, no matter what. So it's just the best to keep to just keep going forward. There will never be a light at the end of the tunnel, but the closer you go, the brighter it gets. That's the
I
best way I
love
could put it.
that. I love that.
You'll never reach the end of the tunnel, but the more you go, the lighter it gets.
So it's interesting because people think that, and I've always thought that you do reach the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Your perspective on it's a little more nuanced, and it's so fascinating. It sounds like you will reach, you will things will get lighter, but there is really no light at the end of the tunnel. Can you
No, there
expand
is
that?
light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel is just never ending. Like it's like you gotta like we think in space and time, right? Like everything is finite, right? Like let's say you're in a room, right? It's a finite size. But I
Yeah,
see it as like it's not finite, it's infinite.
right.
But at the same time, the closer you go, the more bright it is. It's what's called progress.
Oh, interesting. So that's progress, right? That when things get brighter, that's how you measure progress.
Yes, progress never ends. There will never be a 100%. You will just get better at it.
That's a wonderful message to people that, like, you it's so hard to not want to visualize this perfect ending, this perfect light. Things
It
are
is.
imperfect and messy, but there are bright spots along the way, right? So it's imperfectly beautiful.
Yes, like there's not like a book. There's never an end because you can always ask a question afterwards. Think, let's say like what is it called, Prince Charming, where they save the princess from the tower and they come home, they kiss. Okay, cool. What happens next? What would they do next? Surely there's gonna be a revolt in the kingdom. What would they do now? The story never ends. It only ends
Right.
when you, well, kind of morbid, but die.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the end, right? They say that the end of progress is, when you're linear is death, right?
Yes, you will. The only thing you can do is just get better, and that's what I do every time. I always think of a new way to make money. I don't want to go too deep into my business, but you could free to ask what it is. But
Sure. Yeah.
essentially, it's just like off-market video game stuff where I sell
Yeah, so
accounts.
yeah, so I but take us back a little bit because I know that you went through a lot. You spoke a little bit about how people were telling you that you would never be able to achieve certain things. Can you take us back, if it's not too traumatic for you right now, to the time when you felt like, wow, why are people saying this to me? And then,
Well,
yeah,
I could tell you it's happened in that transitioning home. It's called E3. Essentially, these people, they were larger in size, stronger in size. Essentially, they could beat me up. Yeah, sure. I was like they that well, in a way, I could defend myself because I am a martial artist, but
Right.
I was a black belt, but normally it's taekwondo, so it's mostly defensive movements, so not really aggressive movements, but so I wouldn't wanna start and also I don't like fighting in general. So
That's good.
I just let them have it, like, they're like, small victory that, like, "Okay, cool, glad you feel that way."
Oh,
Right? You
no.
gotta resort to violence instead of using your brain because that's what humans are good at. But, sadly, you're not be able to do that, but I could think of witty comebacks, but and they will never understand the wit because they're not, smart,
Right.
and they only could think of bronze, punch, but it is what it is,
Mm.
but they never could see themselves as well, this stems back to what I said, they can never see what they cannot do, and then since they cannot do it, they'll never be able to see it, and they cannot see what you be able to do.
Interesting. So you're thinking back to this transition home, and this happened when you were a teenager or after a teenager?
I was like a young adult, like 18, 19, 20.
So not so long ago. And
Not so long
these
ago.
individuals that you were saying came at you where you said, okay, I'll just let them have it. They're bigger than me. These were people that were your peers?
Well, peers is a wrong choice of words, but I'll
Okay.
see them more as annoyances
Right. But they were with you. They were also there for the same purpose. Am I correct?
for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But it was meant for people a good majority of them. There was one other person that I really respected. His name was Dan. He's another person I really respected. He knew Dan and Jack. No, Dan and Benny.
Yeah.
Dan, Jack, and Benny. I remember them. They were able to put work in, and they could see the value of work, but they could never really go much further because there's boundaries.
You
Like
mean boundaries in terms of the work they can do?
I could see them doing what I could do,
Which,
but just
yeah,
not as well because they don't have, like, the perspective like, visual spatial IQ.
that's really good. I mean, you have such self awareness, Logan. You really understand yourself really well and what you've been through. But I know you also mentioned something about adults not being kind to you or adults telling you that you can't do much or telling your parents that this is
Yeah,
it.
I don't like going near there, but I could go there,
If you don't feel comfortable, that's
it's fine. I did have adults in the past saying that you can't really do it because it's too hard, you'll never have enough time in your day to do it, and I'm like, "But if you could give me time, I could do it. It's very possible. I'm fully capable of doing it. I know. I You could just give me a phone phone and my dad could give me $200 and I'll be able to pull it off.
to pull what off?
To pull off making a money stunt where I could make money, and
Oh,
I
as an
did.
entrepreneur. Right. So they
Yeah,
said that you can't be an entrepreneur, you don't have the ability, you don't have the time. But then also, weren't there adults thinking when I'm thinking more about, and again, if you don't feel comfortable,
in the
let me know.
past,
In the past where when you were younger, they had said something like you can only flip burgers. That's the only way.
it's yeah, kind of. It's like kind of like you just need to do this much. Like for you, getting a D is fine. I'm
Oh no.
like, but I got B's before. I got B with help. If I with no help, I got D's. With help, I got B's. It's completely
Mhm.
possible. So it's basically telling me like you're destined to just do the bare minimum if that's good enough.
But that wasn't good enough for you.
It wasn't good enough for me.
And so
I knew
what
I
did
could do
you do?
more.
So what did you so take us back to what did you do in response or what did you start doing? Let's take it back. They say, okay, you a D is good enough. What do you start doing?
Well, I just start doing things myself, saying that I don't need you. Watch this kind of mentality.
And
And I took $700, I think, and I put it into a business where I'm starting to make an ROI. Like from the last time we talked, I made around 50. Now I'm at 200. So I'm slowly making it back. So maybe by month two, I can make $700 back, give or
right.
take.
Yeah, well, so you're doing really well in this video game world, but circling back to them
Oh, what do you
saying
mean?
you're a D and that's it. What did you start doing at that point? Did you start pushing harder in school? Did you
No,
start
I was also down. Like I also felt defeated. I'm not gonna say I started being an entrepreneur at 17. I was pretty defeated. Felt like I couldn't do anything. COVID was there. I had limited help, and I had struggle adjusting.
Yeah.
And there's not much to it. I just struggled super hard. Like
Right.
I'm pretty sure the audience, general audience listening to this, yeah, and also the struggle.
So, and the struggle is real. And so, it's hard not to internalize when people say things, especially adults, right? I think words really carry so much weight.
I think people don't always realize that when you tell somebody that they're just a D student or they won't be able to do certain things,
Yeah.
that can really sit with them. And for you, it sounds like you said, you know what, at a certain point, it took you time, right? It took you time to overcome all the stuff that was said to you and all the things that were going on. There was a moment where you said, that's it, I'm done. I'm going to do and I'm going to achieve and I'm going to show everybody that I am worthy, I am amazing, and I am beyond
So
successful.
you want to go to that? I would say is probably somewhere last year last year November. Yeah, last year November. I had two feeds on my YouTube shorts. It was one of Jinxie who said, which I gave you the quote saying, people fear that what they cannot do. People fear what they cannot understand. And people will say that you can't do it simply because they couldn't do it. And once you listen to that, that's where the dream ends. And then I had a second one where Mark Cuban, the filthy rich billionaire,
Yeah.
was asked the question, which was a great question. He said, "What would you do when you had $500 left with you and you had a cell phone? That's all you had." He said that he would do what he's really good at, which is sales. So he would said, "I'm going to be the best at it," and and just keep going until he could make an ultimatum.
So he decided that he's gonna continue even though people didn't see that happening, that level of success, he said he's gonna just keep the momentum going.
Yeah. So what I did was, once I discovered this he was like, I could do that. And I said it was a joke at first. So then for like maybe like 6 months, 6 weeks straight, I looked out how the market works in this aftermarket in the game I was good at, League of Legends. You can laugh at me now for the audience that knows.
Sure.
It's for you, it's like it's not a well known game, but for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, interesting. Do tell. What's wrong about it or the wrong reasons?
Toxic community, doxing sometimes,
Can you explain
really
for those
shitty
who don't know
influencers.
what doxing is for those who don't know?
I'm pretty sure the audience know what doxing is. But
I'm
for doxing, essentially, they'll share your identity. She was
That's
hesitant
pretty
why I didn't want to
dangerous, no?
show my face,
Right.
but it is what it is. I could just show it. It's fine. Not much will happen.
Yeah, you'll be fine, but I'm just curious, so basically it was that individual, that filthy rich billionaire, as you call him, that allowed you to think, "Hey, I can do it too," right? Were there any other inspirational figures that you admire that you
Yeah,
said, "Hey, you know what?
Jinxie.
They told them they couldn't do anything." What?
Jinxie. He also had a. I don't think he has a disability, but he was generally a really bad student in general. I don't think he had a disability, but he's really good with words as well. He said that he had a 2.5 GPA, similar to mine. Mine was a 2.4 or 2.3. I forgot. It doesn't matter to me. Um, he told everyone told him that he was gonna be a failure. His guidance counselor told him he's gonna be a failure. His finance teacher said, "When are you gonna start taking life seriously?"
Mm.
But he wanted to be a streamer, right? So essentially, what he did was every day, 24, like 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year. He streamed the game called Rainbow Six Siege. A game I and he ended up being one of the biggest streamers in
Wow.
the scene, like one of the biggest, easily.
Wow. That is incredible.
He single-handedly revived many games. I don't know much about him, but beside like the motivational aspect, I don't know much about Siege.
Mhm.
But he gave me he had that short where essentially he said he was shit at school, but then he came back because he put his blood, sweat, and tears into streaming, and now he's streaming to like 37,000 viewers daily.
It's interesting that you mentioned that he wasn't good at school. I find that a lot of times some people just are not good in school,
Oh,
and they're told that they have to go to a certain type of school, and then unfortunately it backfires. What are your thoughts about that? About, let's say
it could
somebody's in high
work.
school now and just college is just not meant for them. Would you recommend that entrepreneurship is the way to go for individuals that have certain disabilities?
No, I would say it can work, but what I would say is don't. I would say finish your high school, finish with these. I don't care, just get it done. Find what you're good at. Let's say for me, it was I'm good at IT, so I skipped college. I'm not going to go to college. So I'm going to take the opposite route as my brother. who's also is just as bright as me, I guess, many people say.
Yes.
I'm just not academically smart, he's academically smart. I'm more of a work smart in a
Yeah.
way, kind
Okay.
of. I'm good at IT. I'm good with computers, so I could go into IT, and that doesn't require college. And and it will said go into like a work experience ranking where it goes from 1 to 8. And right now, I have the skills of a 2 without even touching a job.
Wow. Okay. So that's you just without being in college. I mean, this is fascinating because a lot of people listening, sometimes parents, professionals, they don't know what to do with certain individuals because they feel like the path is okay, go to college. But for you, it turns out that actually because you're so good at IT, you were self-motivated and you became really passionate about it and
Go for it.
you've taught yourself.
Yeah, go for it. If you believe that you can do it and you will put in the effort, go for it.
So
Like
I'm
I was like, for example, if someone is, let's say Timmy, right? Timmy got out of school. He's a C student. Won't got 700 on the SAT. Probably won't get into a good school. But what Timmy is, he's really good with a knife.
mm,
He's really good with the knife, right? Like maybe his hobby is cooking. He likes cooking a pie every now and then. He makes a really good rotisserie chicken.
yeah.
Maybe go work in a restaurant
Yeah.
and then work in a restaurant because little Timmy will get D's and fail multiple times in school, right?
Mhm.
Like Bill Timmy, with all these helps, he got C's. There's no shot he's gonna make it in college. Gotta be
Yeah,
realistic.
right?
He's gonna lose money on classes and he's gonna be
Yeah.
down money. But little Timmy goes straight into like let's say the restaurant business. Let's say he works at like the Whole Food cutting meat slices, gathers some experience, and then let's say he goes into a restaurant. Let's say a nice diner at nearby in his town. He gets a job because he's been slicing deli meat for like a year.
Mhm.
Then he says, "I sliced deli meat for a year. Let me be a line cook." Right? Then you'll be a line cook for 2 years in that town restaurant. Then let's say he goes to another higher end restaurant. Then he becomes a sous chef there.
Right.
And then it's like you go into the workforce, but that's your college, right? You get
Yeah.
paid and then you gain experience there instead of being taught in college. So I find that if you a student that sucks in school will always have something they're very good at somewhere else.
Very good point. Very good point.
So I want you to find what you're good at and hone it to the best of your ability. Like, and we're gonna use the light metaphor at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel's never gonna end. You always can get better.
Right.
You always want to wake up with that mentality saying, tomorrow I want to do something better. I want to change this. Well, that's whenever I want to go into the store. Whenever I know I made a mistake.
Uh,
Just yesterday, I knew that I took an order
yeah.
that I couldn't chew off and I had to cancel it. And now I got to talk to customer service to say that this delivery never happened and it's
Right.
probably be fixed within 48 hours. But
Right. But sorry to interrupt you, Logan, but it seems like that can happen to anybody. We all do that in life, right? Where we bite off more than we can chew. It's so common with how fast paced the world is, people overcommitting, right?
yes, there is something like what is a good way to put it? There's two good ones. One is the never ending light at the tunnel. The tunnel never ends, but the light will always get brighter. There's also another one. How do I put it in words? My dad told me this one. He says, you know too much, but at the same time you know too little.
Hmm.
You think you know too much, but at the same time you know too little.
Because you're
Because
always just scratching the surface. There's always so much more.
there's always so much more that you could learn. You know a lot, but there's more to learn.
Yeah.
Like,
So, yeah.
like, recently, I could put it in words. I'm a high elo player in League of Legends. I'm in the Masters rank, like high diamond, low master, which is like top 1%. Just recently, I learned something from a silver player, which is like the bottom 70%. Like 70% of the players are better than them. But I learned something. So it's always said there's always something to learn. That's what's important. You may know a lot. Let's go back to the little Timmy example.
Yeah.
So little Timmy knows all about the knife, right?
Mhm.
Like he mastered the kitchen knife, right? The
Yep.
most basic knife. But
Mhm.
then again, there's cleavers. Then again, there's steak knives, which
Yep.
is more of a table knife, not a cooking knife. But Chinese cleaver, right?
Yep.
Very versatile knife. And then maybe little Timmy could learn from somewhere else how to use that Chinese knife, right? let's say he's the best at the kitchen knife, but he doesn't know about Chinese knife. Maybe the Chinese knife is really good, but then there's the sushi knife, right? So he can learn more about the sushi knife and learn more techniques there. And as he
True.
goes on, he knows more. Because he could be the best at the kitchen knife, but he
Right.
could also learn more about other knives
Well, that's
that
so
the kitchen
interesting.
knife is not good at.
It's great that you mentioned that because I think that what ends up happening, and again, this is great that, autistic advocates such as yourself have come out and said, listen to us, listen to our interests. If you just give us a chance at harnessing our interests and developing them, we can show you that we can not only be successful, but be amazing at what we're doing, right? Autistic individuals are some of the most creative people in the world. But you also mentioned something that I think is overlooked, which is that sometimes people get pigeonholed, I find, into one area, where they're like, okay, like you said with the knives, right? So you're really good at, let's say, something related to theater, but you could still learn something else related to
You can
theater.
learn playwriting. That's one. Let's say you're good at acting, you could learn
Yeah,
playwriting. If you know how to write a play, you can know how to act a play.
right. But you don't have to just stick to playwriting. If you really love theater, you could also,
Branch
like
out,
you said,
keep going.
that. Try to learn other things. I think what happens sometimes, in my opinion, is that people start pigeonholing people into you're the dancer, you're the singer, you're the IT guy,
No,
right? Oh, how do you
that
feel
never
about
works. That never works because in order to work as a team, you need to have a basic understanding of what your teammates are doing. That's what makes high elo and League of Legends possible. Because let's say you cannot go past Diamond without knowing the basic understanding of the other roles, and that goes for life as well. For my role is that I'm mostly customer service. I have a good tongue. I could speak things. I'm able to communicate well in like text messages. I'm able to be
right?
a good customer service. I understand I'm also diamond at league, which means I'm top 1%, but there's other people that are better than me, way better.
Yeah,
So I understand what he's working with, and he understands what I'm working at, but I'm just happen to be better at customer service, and he happens to be better at boost at playing the game. So we just play off each other's strengths. So we know what the other's job is and how it works. It's better to work with it because then you have a better understanding. You can work off times that you don't need a question. It's like there'll be less communication needed because you know what they're gonna do,
right.
and
Absolutely.
having less time communicating and more time doing is always better. 'Cause, you know, more time to practice is the best way to
Yeah.
put it.
No, that's great. I mean, the way you put it is that, like, of course, you're going to practice and you're going to practice different things because it doesn't work. Like you said, team, right? Team collaboration. That's one of the big social things because eventually most people do enter the workforce. And if you only have one area of knowledge, that's not, going to always be good enough, right? You're going to want to be what we call, I hate this phrase, but, and now I can't even think of it, but what is it called? Well rounded, as they say, right? Well rounded in different areas.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, a jack of all trades, master of none, but just putting it out there. I have a follow-up question, Logan. So when we were talking in the beginning about social, you started noticing that something was maybe off, quote unquote, with you. You didn't feel the same in terms of social. So were you making any connections with anybody when you
No.
were a teen and tween? Were
No,
you
I
just
found
here?
that as useless. I found that as don't do what I did. I found that as useless because I didn't wanna bother learning it.
You
Because
didn't
I
want
found it as, like, worthless, not they don't have anything of value to help me, and I don't
okay.
have anything of value to help them.
So you didn't
It's a
communicate.
pointless connection.
You didn't communicate with anybody, any other people other than your family.
Yes, but what I want you guys to do is to not make the same mistake. I want you to learn what you can do, and you can make a connection, and that'll really help.
Right. So you're saying that
Because
in retrospect. Yeah.
I would say that what I did was foolish. It was right to an extent because I genuinely did not have much to offer.
Mhm.
But because of when you're gonna fix a computer in school, for me it was breaking the computer. Legit, I got many passwords. I broke many firewalls. I did so many other things where they had to place restrictions on my computer more than others just so they could keep it normal. That's the only thing I was good for, and that's when other people went to me for stuff, but this and they asked for favors.
Right. And that's when social started, when people started noticing, "Hey, look at this guy. He has stuff to offer us. We're gonna start going him." Is that when it started with the
Yes,
interaction?
yeah, that's normally what happened. It was around my junior year,
Junior year
but
of high school.
I
Okay.
mostly see. conversations as transactional, right? Everything is transactional. There's no point in have like let's it could be emotional transaction, physical transaction, favor transaction. In a friendship, there's always transaction. I want you to find something that what you can offer, and you could ask what they want to offer, and then you could keep it from there. If let's say
So,
you could offer emotional support, then you offer
yeah.
emotional support. If you say you're just let's say well back to let's tell me you're really good at making a pie. Let's say you want to ask for a favor from a guy you know. Like let's say I'll make him I'll save him a piece of pie in exchange that he will help me out with this homework, help me out with this problem I'm having struggle with. It's like a very bare bones, like it's very disproportionate, but
Right.
once you get like that, you could ask for favors, and then that's where real friendship comes
Oh,
in.
so that's interesting. So you're saying that one way, because again, a lot of things are transactional with communication, is that one way to start, like bringing social into your world without it being high pressure where you have to have an actual hangout meetup is just by
Offer a
asking for a
greeting
favor.
gift. Asking for a greeting gift. Like let's say you're good at making a pie, you make them a pie, and that'll be your entry because then you have leverage in a way to put it. Because you have something to offer right off the bat. It says, "Hi, my name is Logan, and your name, and here's a pie. Can I talk to you for a bit?" Because you know that let's say they're really good at math. You offer a pie, they sit with you, they have the pie, and then you could talk about it,
I
and you
love
have a
this.
sentence starter.
This is a really good idea, by the way, because I think that uh, friendships in general, not all of them are transactional. If you find close friends, hopefully it won't be transactional. Like hopefully there'll be a deep loyalty
I'm
between two
saying, yeah,
people, right?
you could have that, but like
But
starting, it's
exact
almost always transactional, so just
yeah.
get something give, like, a greeting, and then that'll almost most likely make every greeting easier,
Yeah, I
and that
know.
will help you a lot.
Yeah, but I think that's great that to kind of just get it on your radar, like think of people as in the beginning as people who can offer you something and you can offer them back, which kind of circles back to people can exchange ideas best when they have common interests. So have you found that along the way you've met people with similar interests and you've been drawn to
No,
them?
I never had people with similar interests. Only in my business I created do we have similar interests,
But video
because
games,
we're
for example, isn't everybody interested in video games? Not
no.
everybody, but a lot.
Yeah, some, but there's so many different video games that it really doesn't work. Like there's different scenes, MOBAs, first person shooters, strategy, mobile, arenas. It's so vast you can never make a connection. Like
So
my brother, he's good at simulators. I'm good at MOBAs. We are
MOBAs?
completely
What are
different.
MOBAs? For those who don't know,
Multi
I know.
online
I mean,
battle
I don't.
arena.
What?
Multiplayer online battle arena, I think is what it stands for.
Okay. So these
Essentially it's a 5v5 game,
right.
and then you have to outwit, and it's basically you gotta be more mechanically gifted and more more intelligent than the enemy
Critical
team to win.
thinking. Okay, so then what it sounds like to me is that what started off for you of social is you viewing this as kind of like, okay, I kind of can give you something, you can give me something back, but you said that didn't start until junior year. Now you're past junior year, you're a few years out of junior year, right? Four
I
or
did it
five.
again with my business. I offered this guy some work, right? And then I said, "Hey, I need this account to be at so and so, and can you bring it to me?" And I you could deny it if you want, but I really need this. And they said, "Sure." And then they said, and then I could then I could do a favor. Then favors get involved. That
Right.
doesn't need to be transactional, you know?
Absolutely. And then because when you're doing a favor for someone, you're actually showing that you care, that you support, right? Beyond just let's have this exchange. But so that kind of circles kind of full circle to now. Where are you at socially now in terms of for all who are listening? You had this whirlwind of a journey of people telling you you won't be able to do this, you won't be able to progress, you're going to be in a specialized program, you're not
It's
smart, you're
funny.
not this. And now, did you find that tribe of people?
Yeah, I did.
How? Show us the magic. Tell us.
You just gotta keep going. That's all I could say. I just got lucky. I got it early on, but you just gotta know what you're good at, and then eventually you'll find your group. Of course, you'll be different. You always will be different. But if you share a common interest and you just so happen to be damn good at that interest, might look past it.
That's great. I mean, you not even look past it. Some people will embrace it and say, wow, you're so creative. This is great. I can learn from you. You
Yeah.
know, my business is going to get better because of you. So, do you mind like describing what your tribe looks like or like how you
Oh, it's
ended up
very
finding?
complicated. I could give it a general gist. Essentially, what happens is that I open a hub. It's less of a business, but more of a hub. So essentially what happens is I offer amenities of perks, right?
What wait, this is
One of the
all related to your business or no?
yeah, related to my
Okay.
business. For amenities, like free accounts for you to work with, and then passively they will become more and more valuable. And then when it reaches a certain value limit, then becomes what it's worth, and then it'll just be decreasing. I aim for the peak, and then I sell it, and I make a profit by doing basically nothing. I just give it to them for them to work with, because at the end they just need something to work with, and then passively it gets value from when they're working with it, and I just sell it, and I just do it again. That's one way I make money. Another way I make keep retention is that I offer service for free in a way. I host services for free. Some people take cuts. I host it for free. So it's kind of like the $2 hot dog for Costco.
But let me ask you about that. Is that partially also just to get more business because you wanna give freebies so people can get in, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
I yeah, that's like one of those like I offer two things. One of them makes money, one of them doesn't make me money, but it doesn't lose me money. Barely loses me money. It's like $2 for
Right.
transfer.
Okay, so you found your tribe, and it sounds like you found your tribe through your great interest in terms of this video game land. So these are all people that are virtual. Are there any other people that you've connected with along the way that you would consider part of your tribe, that you would be loyal to, and that they would be loyal to you
All
back?
of them. All of them. We are in a way, we are all equals because I'm good at something and I have something. They're good at something and they have something. So we're basically just mostly transactional. And we also ask for favors from each other. And we're mostly like a team that's asking for favors, sometimes transactional. No one's the boss of anyone, to be honest. It's always so disorganized, but at the same time, so organized.
Yeah. No,
No one's in charge, but at the
yeah,
same time,
yeah.
everyone knows who's going to be in charge of when the project starts.
Interesting. So you don't want it to become Lord of the Flies, right? Where there's nobody in charge and then everybody ends up fighting each other. It's not like that. It seems like people have an understanding, even though there
Who
aren't.
will be the best at some like let's say there's going to be let's say there's going to be a team where they need to do a 5 stack and level up accounts really fast. I'm the lowest rank out of all of them,
So,
barring the people that don't even play the game.
right.
I'm the lowest rank out of all of them, so strategically it would not make sense for me to be the leader.
Hmm.
But for the person that's the highest rank,
Yeah.
it was strategically better for them to be the leader. But for example, for me, let's say there's someone that needs to get a lot of accounts in, a lot of customers in, a lot of resources in. I technically have the most financial capital, so it would make sense for
Right.
me to be in charge.
Right.
So
So,
it's kind of
yeah,
depends on what it is.
of course. But
I'm just the one that
yeah,
founded it. That's it.
sure. I just wanted to clarify. So, but in terms of social, right? In terms of like individuals that you connect with, is there anybody that you connect with out of video game world, out of the hub, out of
No,
that sphere? No.
no, not really. But I do want to meet some of them in real life, though.
Oh, okay.
One of them is in Argentina, another one's from Egypt. I do wanna see
Interesting.
them I do wanna see them in real life. I know
Okay.
it's probably, like, now or, like, maybe in the Middle East it'll be kinda difficult because of the political circumstances we're in right now, but
Right. So you're saying that you would like to meet these people in person. They are your tribe, but you didn't necessarily find a tribe outside of that world right now.
yeah,
Are
but
you
I'm not good at it, but this one I'm good at, so
right? No, and I think that's a
I
message, right? That's
like, just find what
empowering.
you're good at.
Right, so that's empowering to other people because it sounds like tribes can be created in different ways. It's not necessarily gonna be like, okay, you have a group, you have a clique, and that's it, right? You're good to go, like your brother, right? Like in high school. It's not always gonna be like look the same for everybody. For you right now, this is what it looks like. But it can always evolve, right, Logan? Like for example, you have a job that you're applying to, or you're in the job market, whatever it may be. You may develop relationships at that job, no?
I could, but I don't want to because I don't like having real like I wouldn't say real life because people are real life behind the screen. I think that's the wrong choice of words, but I don't like face to face connections. I like hiding behind a mask. And
Even
that's
though
what
you're
makes
showing
it
your face now.
yeah, it's kind of like I'm out of my comfort zone a little bit.
But I'm
But
glad that you're willing to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm right now I'm fully ready to answer every question you do. Yeah, because it's because I do see you not as transactional in a different way, more or less of kind of transactional. You do offer something that I want, and this is me more of a transaction, me seeing transactional. I
Right.
don't think we're ever getting to the favor part, but right now you are getting paid, and for I'm paying you for my service, and in return I could say, you know what, I can answer any questions. I'm comfortable with it. It's in the past. It's all behind me. I
Right.
don't it doesn't bother me anymore because, I already proved them wrong. So those words mean nothing to me. It's nothing burger at this point, you know?
Nothing burger.
If
I could
if
have flipped the burger. Right.
Yeah, so it really doesn't bother me anymore. It's like I kind of turn my trauma into something like empowering, and then I could come now since I proved that wrong, the words have no value to it. Therefore, it's nothing. Like they said, you
Well,
can't do it. I did it, so that word is nothing.
yeah. So it sounds like you basically took this trauma, you took everything that was holding you back, and you said, you know what? You guys are going to say this. I'm going to prove y'all wrong. Right. I'm going to prove you dead
That's the
wrong.
best way to do it.
Right. Which is what your advice, I guess, would be. So, on that note, my final question for you as we wrap up this podcast episode, which has been so inspiring, is what is your hope for your own future? And what is your hope for the future of individuals who find themselves in the situation that you were in so many years ago?
I will answer the individuals first.
Okay.
I would say find what you're good at, master it, and then branch out. Everyone will tell you you're going to fail. You are going to fail. No matter what you do, you could be the best at it, you are going to fail. It is only a matter of will you get back up? Because you will fall again. I guarantee it 1,000,000%, you will fall again and again and again. But what matters is that you get up. Because every time you fall, you take one step back. You will always take that one step back. What it matters is will you get up? That's one step. And then will you learn from it? That's another step. There you go, you made a step. Then let's say you make 2 steps, you fail again. You take 1 step back. You get up, you take 1 step forward. Then you learn from it, you take another step. And that's how you keep going down the endless tunnel of light. For me, what I hope is to keep doing that what I just recommended and hopefully see as much light as the end much light before my tunnel ends.
Until your tunnel ends?
Yeah, until I
Meaning
die.
that's a tunnel ending, right? You'd mentioned that. Wow, Logan, you are so inspiring in the sense that you were able to take whatever was being thrown at you, all the negative things, and turn it into a source of kind of fuel for success and achievement and progress and trying to really work hard at something that you're passionate about. I think that your hope for yourself and for others is really much one of the same, which is that everybody should strive no matter how hard it is. They should strive to even do more, even if they're going to fail. And like you said, you will naturally fail.
You will
That's
naturally
just part of the
fail.
package.
I will
And
I
step back, step forward, right?
Yeah, I'll say it again. You will always fail, no matter what. The people that will tell you that you will always be a C student, if you lay down, you will be a C student.
Right.
If you don't get up, you will be a C student and then you prove them right. What you
Hmm.
can do is that you get up and then you try your best. And then maybe you'll become a C plus. Maybe then you'll become a B minus. And then you fall down again. Maybe you had a bad test and you end up getting a C. So be it. You look at the test, look what you failed on, then you get back up. This is what I need to focus on. It took me so long for me to learn this, but if you just look at what you messed up and just change it. It's very easy to just look at it and then just see what you did wrong and then don't make that mistake ever again. Because you will always, if you keep that mentality, you will always run into new mistakes.
Right.
If you don't ever do it, you'll always run into the same mistake and then you never learn. But
Yeah.
once you keep on running into new mistakes and you learn more and more and more, eventually there'll be so little mistakes that you just become a student. I could have done that, to be honest. I could have. If I had that motivation, if I didn't listen to those words, if I had that wisdom I do have right now, I
Right.
could have been an A student. But
Hindsight.
you can't change the past.
No.
You only can change the future. So my message is when the moment you're born, you're in this tunnel, right?
Mm,
You want to keep going toward the light.
right.
Every time you fail, you'll fall down. If you fall down and keep running to the same mistake, you'll always be down. You learn
Hmm.
from it, you take one step, you go back to where you were, you learn from it. Then you did something. Use what you learn, you go forward. Then you make a mistake, you step back. You
Right.
always will step back. You'll always step back, you'll always make mistakes, you'll always fail. No
Right.
matter what. The most important part out of all those steps is are you willing to get back up?
Right.
Once you get back up, everything becomes easier. Because getting back up is, I would say, 90% the battle.
Yeah. Logan, I can't agree with you more about that, but I also understand how hard it is and how hard it was for you and so many others who are being
I
told
know.
by adults right? By
I
people who they're supposed to be listening to, people who are supposed to be giving them guidance, that they're not going to succeed in any way, shape, or form.
it's
However, I do also, listening to this, feel like, wait, if everybody could just accept that, wait, they're partially right. We're all going to fail. Everybody fails at everything that they're doing. Any risk that you take requires some
it,
level of accepting failure. And then there's the persistence piece, which is getting back up and learning from the
everyone
mistakes.
everyone they are right to the extent where it says you are going to fail. Or they never tell you get back up. They never do. So what I'm gonna be, if you're listening, I'm gonna tell you get back up. That's 90% the work. Getting back up. The will
Yeah.
to get back up is 90% the work. 5% learn and the other 5 move forward.
Yeah.
90% is getting back up.
And that's the hardest part, right? That getting
Yes,
back
getting
up when
back
you're
up
in
is
the depths
I could
of
say I
darkness.
could say it. I will fly tomorrow. I can't. It's very easy to say things, but it's much harder to do it.
That's a
So a
good
good
point.
exercise that I did when I started my business is what did I learn? What did I fail? And how can I not do that again?
Interesting.
That's one thing. What did I do? What did I fail? And how can I not do that again?
So it's
Ev-
basically reflection, absolute
Reflection.
reflection on
So
what did I do? And then also, uh, how do I not do it again? Meaning, how will I be able to learn from this so that the next time will be different?
yes. What how do I avoid it is the best way to put it. What did I do? Seeing that Mark says, what progresses I made? For me, today, I can mark it as right. What I do is that I took an order.
Mm,
What did I do wrong? I took more than I could chew.
right,
What can I do now? Check if I could do it now. Because I didn't check. I was too hasty. That's what my takeaway for today. I took an order, I found an order, I failed the order, and now I learned how to avoid it. How to do
right.
that failed order. That's what
And
I learned yesterday.
yeah, and
And
maybe
then I'm
even
gonna do that and do that every single day. It's little steps at a time because the persistence is hundreds of hundreds of hundreds of steps. Just wake up. Just think those 3 things. And
right.
that's one step.
I think that's
Just
super powerful. I really do. And
just
Logan,
think
I
small
do.
things at a time. If you always look at a mountain, if you look at a mountain, if that's how like let's think of how a Mount Everest climber would think. If you look at the Mount Everest and say climb it to a new person, they can't do it. But if you say climb this tiny hill first and then climb this another tiny hill, eventually it'll be the size of Mount Everest. It's like in a way you just gotta take small steps at a time. I did not just rush in with throw $700 on something. It
Mhm.
took me time. I took $20 there, $10 there, $5 there,
Small steps.
maybe like $50 there,
Right.
and then eventually I used it all, and now I have abundance of things, and I know abundance of things, and I know what it
Mhm.
could go for. Just take tiny steps. That's
Yeah.
all it requires. If you ever think in full, you will never get done. Like There's this joke there's this joke in a video game in when it comes to ganking in bot lane,
Right.
which it says, "He who chases two rabbits catches none.
Mm,
He who chases one rabbit gets one."
right. Small steps, right? Don't try to look at the whole
Don't
conquering of
don't
the
look
whole
at the whole thing.
mountain. Try
Don't
to
look at the
just
whole
take some
thing.
of the part of the
And I know
mountain.
for the autistic viewers, I know you're gonna be good at this. Just take one quadrant. Think of like in a room. Take one quadrant. Do it fully. Then go to the next quadrant. Do it fully. Go to the next quadrant. Do it fully. If you look at the whole thing, you'll be stressed out. Yes, I know that for a fact. I'm autistic. If you look at the whole room, you'll be like it'll stress you out.
Very overwhelming, yeah. So
If you
Logan,
just focus on one thing, just one thing
yeah.
one thing, just the 3 things. Focus on what did I do today? What can I improve and how can I avoid like that? That's all. I've been doing that since my business launch, which was 12 days, and I learned so many things about the
Yeah.
market that I already have not.
I think reflection is a key to success, Logan, and I'm glad that you are able to utilize that on a regular basis because that power of reflection allows anybody to make any progress and avoid mistakes. And more importantly, for anybody listening, whether you're a professional or you're an educator or you're a parent or a neurodivergent individual, please listen to Logan's advice in
Yeah,
terms of knowing your strengths, harnessing them, channeling your identity in the way that you want to, and also getting up and moving forward and proving them wrong.
yeah.
Right,
So,
Logan? So
yeah.
thank you again for being on the podcast today. For the sake, where can people find you if you want to share where they can connect with you?
It's gonna be very hard to find me,
Okay.
but I will leave you with a parting message for since you mentioned professionals and for the people that are struggling, get up. You're going to fall again. Get up and keep going. And for the
Yeah.
professionals, tell them straight up, you're going to fail every day.
Mm-hmm.
But you always gotta tell them, get up. If you always lay down, you'll never go anywhere. And you'll always be that D student. You'll always be that C student. But if you fail and you learn, someday you might reach a B. Someday
Wow.
you might reach an A. For those teens and tweens. Someday you might reach an A. Someday you might reach a B. May not be as easy as others. But once you get up and you keep going, you will get closer and closer. Maybe by next test you went up by 5%. Just
Right.
tell them, the professionals, just tell them, you're doing better. Every time you get up, you will do better.
Yes.
And you learn, you will do better. And tell them to that. Because they need to hear it.
Right.
They need to see it in order to envision to see it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Just professionals, tell them you're going to fail. You just need to get up and you're making progress. That's all you need to do. If I heard that, I guarantee you I would have at least walked away with A that is not in gym.
With what?
If I heard that, if get up, you will fail, but you will fail, but you will get up and you're making improvements. If I heard that from a teacher, I guarantee you I would have an A that is not in gym.
Not in gym. Oh, and other things. Right. So, Logan, I think that not only are you an entrepreneur and someone who has beat the odds and said no when people were telling you that you couldn't do it, but you also are going to be a motivational speaker, I feel like. I feel like you can be, we'll talk about this more, but I feel like you're destined to speak to crowds of people and inspire them. So thank you,
I've
Logan,
stage
so
fright,
much for
but
being here. Right. But that's something that, you can work through. But thank you so much, Logan, again, for your insight, for the ability to be raw and vulnerable, even going back to places that may have been a little dark at the time, because I think that a lot of people listening to this will be very inspired, empowered, and motivated, even when they're told no.
yes,
So
when
thank you
you
so much.
told no, you make it into a yes, and then it won't be traumatic anymore.
Thank you so much, Logan. So thanks for being on the podcast. I can't wait for it to come out, for everybody to be able to listen to your words of wisdom. Thank you for taking the time, for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for joining us on Unmasking Social, where we neurodiverse advocates and those who support them explore how real friendship begins when we start showing up as ourselves. If today's episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend, leave a review, or follow me for more conversations that provide information on neurodivergent ways of thinking, communicating, and connecting. Until next time, keep staying social.